I'm Warren Perry. I'm one of the co-curators of Elvis at 21. I'm here with our photographer, Alfred Wertheimer. Al Wertheimer took these amazing images of Elvis that we have here in the portrait gallery. Today, we're talking with him. We have just a couple of questions to ask. First of all, what is your fondest memory of Elvis?
Well, I need my lawyer here to explain all this. My fondest memories of Elvis are, most of all, he permitted closeness. I mean, without that, I wouldn't have gotten my intimate photographs. And with Elvis, you could get within 3 feet, I mean like this, and he wouldn't fudge. And he really acted himself. He was the best director of his own life, and I couldn't have done better if I tried. And so I appreciate what he did. And I stayed with him not very long, maybe around 10 days, and happened to capture about 2,500 images, of which you see 56 images here. And why did we choose 56? Because it all took place in 1956.
So you've been receiving a lot of attention for this exhibition and for these photographs since it's been on tour. What do you think? This has been 54 years since you shot these photos. It seems like they've taken on a whole new life.
That's true. It really is surprising. You know, at one time, a collection can be in your basement and nobody pays attention, and then the next thing you know, somebody gets interested, somebody makes huge prints like David Adamson. He deserves a lot of credit for the beautiful, beautiful prints he made. And then before you know it, the museums start asking to show them, and your head gets a little bit swelled, but I try not to swell it too much because, as Little Richard said, he got what he wanted, but he lost what he had. What I have is I have privacy. I'm basically a caveman. I very rarely come out of my cave, and this is like a rare occasion for me to come into the public limelight. But I appreciate it. It is interesting. It's nice, but don't let it go to your head.
We have another question for Mr. Wertheimer. Al Wertheimer's name is synonymous with the early images of Elvis that we see as Elvis is in that transformative period from a young rock and roller and an unknown, and then all of a sudden Elvis becomes famous. You also did some work other than Elvis. Did you not work on a project at Woodstock?
Yes, there were 5 main cameramen on the original Woodstock that Mike Wadley produced with Bob Maurice, his partner, and they nearly went broke. They shot about 250,000 feet of film, and then that took place. I forgot. It took place somewhere in the late '60s, and the mudslide scene in the show is basically my footage. The lakefront scene, and it was unusual because we had it all planned out, and then all the plans fell apart, and we had to sort of fly by the seat of our pants. And it turned out that ultimately, instead of being a social documentary, which Mike Wadley wanted to do, 80% social and 20% music, it turned out to be 80% music and 20% social, because Warner Brothers said, it'll never sell, and if you want to make some money, you better make it music. That's what I gathered from that film.
Well, I was telling someone the other day, we've been talking about the Elvis Project for a couple of years now, and I said, Al Wertheimer was there at 2 of the seminal moments at rock and roll. He was there at the transformation of Elvis and at Woodstock. I'm not sure that you could have greater rock and roll experiences.
I didn't plan it. You know, if I hadn't been in the print room on the 10th of March when Ann Folchino called, I was making some prints, and someone in the office says, Al, you want it on the phone? I said, Ann, what is it you'd like? She was the PR person at RCA, Victor, Elvis's new record company. And she said, can you come down to the Tommy Jimmy Dorsey show on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day? We'd like you to take some pictures. We have nothing in the file, and I need some things for handouts, back of album jackets, and so on. And I said, yeah, I'll come down. Tommy Dorsey I'm a fan of his. It'd be nice to meet him. She says, no, I want you to photograph Elvis Presley. And then I said, Elvis who? I had never heard the name Elvis Presley in my life at that time. and he did not yet have a gold record. I mean, he was basically a well-known regional singer in the South, and now he was breaking in on the national scene, and then later on the international scene. So it was about a month before he had his first gold record in April. Yes.
So you saw him literally from the time he was the unknown until he was the famous, the king, or at least the beginnings of the king.
Well, he never liked that term. I mean, king of rock and roll was fine, but as far as he was concerned, Jesus Christ was the king, and I wasn't going to argue with him. But at the time that I photographed him, a lot of people accused him of having a pelvis. See, a silly thing like that. He was called Elvis the Pelvis by the critics. And then there's this shot I have of him leaving the Richmond train station, where I did prove that he had a pelvis. He had that sort of swing in his hip, but he listened very intently. All these William Morris agents, they put their hands on. They said, "Elvis, don't move around," and he's taking all the advice. I was surprised that he would be so diligent in taking their advice. And then when he got on stage, when he had access to the 6 minutes of glory, singing 2 songs, he just did what he wanted to, and he burst forward, and that was what people were adults were afraid of. Elvis from the waist down. They weren't afraid of his singing, but the kids loved it. You know, he moved. His attitude was, I sing with my whole body. I don't just sing with my voice, and they couldn't quite understand that.
So Elvis at 21 will be at the National Portrait Gallery until January 23rd, 2011, and it will continue on tour for 3 years after that. Thank you very much, Mr. Wertheimer, for talking with us today.
And next time we talk, you can call me Al.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you. Thank you very much.